Welcome to another episode of Christian Riki, and I'm so excited to have you guys join me. I am joined today by Hlubi and Diana, and we are doing a very special episode where we will be talking about ghosting. Yes, we're going to talk about ghosting today. So I wanted to just ask the ladies first to introduce themselves. Hlubi, introduce yourself to the people.
Hi everyone, my name is Nomahlubi and I am joining Manaka's podcast today and looking forward to discussing a very interesting topic on ghosting.
Okay, Diana, whomst are you?
Yes, I'm Diana. I'm so glad to be back on the podcast. Excited for this topic. We're definitely going to have so much fun today, guys.
Yes, looking forward to it. So I wanted to ask the ladies first. When you hear the word ghosting, what comes to mind? Hlubi?
I literally think of someone wearing a white sheet.
Casper the ghost vibes.
I know, on Halloween, and literally that's what I think about. I didn't even know it was a thing or a term. So yeah, that's what comes to mind.
Diana, what do you think when you...
No, I'm very woke, unlike Shubi here. When I think of ghosting, I think of that guy whom I'm chatting to, Jiggy. He's nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. He is gone. He has ghosted me.
Okay, so according to Wikipedia, ghosting is a colloquial term used to describe the practice of ceasing all communication and contact with a partner. So I think Diana's definition is the right one, not Casper the ghost. Yes, so Diana, the way you explain ghosting, it sounds like you have a story to tell us. Have you ever been ghosted before?
Oh yes, I have been ghosted before.
Can you tell us like how that happened, if you don't mind sharing?
How it happened?
Yeah,
yes.
What happened?
So I have been ghosted, sad to say, a number of times. So you meet a guy, right? You meet a guy, start chatting. And for me, I think it always happened that I'm thinking from my side that everything is going well, the conversation is flowing, we've been talking, we've been chatting. It always just shocks me, like, what happened? Where did the guy disappear to all of a sudden? I thought everything was okay. Obviously, if you're ghosted, this person is not trying to talk to you. Even if you try to call them, send them messages, no, they are not there.
Ish.
So that has happened to me a couple of times. And initially, I used to really look inwards, and think that there's something wrong with me. What did I do? What did I say?
Yeah.
But as time went on, I had to really think that I'm not responsible for people's actions.
Yeah.
Why must I take the weight on me that, oh, this person ghosted me, there's something wrong with me? No, it's their problem, it's not mine. I stopped taking it personally.
I can definitely relate because your girl has been ghosted many times where you think that like things are getting somewhere, we're talking every day, it's nice, there isn't even like a sign of you being like, I'm done with this person, then out of nowhere, bam, gone. You're not nowhere to be found. There's no blue tick even, it's just one tick and the profile picture goes back to that ghost.
You've been blocked.
Actually, yes. When you get blocked and ghosted, your profile picture goes away, and the ghost thing, like that picture that is like a ghost, actually pops up.
Spooky comes
That's
out.
exactly.
Spooky, yes.
Do you call him Spooky?
It is.
We'll call him Spooky. Spooky comes out,
yes.
And then that's when you know that you are ghosted. He is gone. He's gone.
Gone.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No explanation.
Nothing.
No nothing. Pambile.
And Diana, after how long were you chatting with the guy when the guy just ghosted you?
I must admit that with the ghosters, it really doesn't take long. It's like definitely less than a month, because I think from my side, I really believe that the guy realized that no, this is not the place I'm trying to put effort in. This is not the girl for me, or they're not gonna get what they want from me. Then they quickly decide, gone. Because I've been on dating sites. And what I've realized with men is when they talk to you, they're not trying to waste time. They come in ready with questions, bang, 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 bang. And when they find out from their intel that, you're not the one I'm looking for, they're gone. So that's what I found, that it doesn't even take long. Like under a month, they got their info. No, you're not the one I'm trying to invest in. Then they're gone.
And without even communicating that, hey, actually, you're not what I'm looking for, so bye.
Nothing.
Shubi, you are very quiet. Girl, have you been ghosted?
I've never been ghosted, so I have nothing to add. But as Diana...
Are you a ghoster?
Tell us.
I would not call myself a ghoster because Diana touched on something that's very important, and I think in defining ghosting, we need to give it a time frame, right? Because if it's within like a month or 2 weeks and I'm trying to figure out and to discern whether or not this is something I want to pour my heart into, and then after 2 weeks I decide, okay, this is not going to work for me, I don't think it's ghosting. I think it's me making a decision. And I have made but if I've been talking to you for like 3 months and you believe, and I've led you to believe that this is going somewhere, and then after 6 months I go kabish, then I think that's ghosting in my head. So I probably have ghosted people. There's a lot of conversations that I start. I mean, initially you get excited chatting to people, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even because you're trying to pursue anything with the guy. It's like, oh wow, good conversation. They're talking about whatever they want to talk about, da da da. And if I'm being honest, I'm a very busy person, so I don't like chatting and texting. So for me, we're gonna text for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then if you're not making an effort to see me in real life, I'm not gonna respond to your text. I'm not looking for pen pals on my phone. No, no, I am not doing that. And then if our conversation doesn't even move towards like a call, voice, video calls, it's something tangible, because I'm not trying to be texting all the time. And so that's why I will just not respond to your text, because I'm like, this guy's been texting me for the past 3 months, but he hasn't like called me. He hasn't made an effort to see me in real life. So like, what is the point? You're just wasting my time, and my fingers are sore after a long day at work. All I want to do is have my green tea and sleep. So I will not, and I will blue tick you, but I won't respond.
So don't you think it's important to let the person know that, listen, this is not working hard. This is not me.
Yeah.
Before you just, blue tick them and disappear, because it does feel like this person just pulled a disappearance.
Yeah, just feel like things need a closing.
Yes, like
just like close it off. Yeah.
Guys, I can't be closing everything on WhatsApp. Look, I mean, back to my point, if we were talking for like 6 months and I led you to believe that this was going somewhere, then yes, I owe you an explanation. But if we were like, if I just met you, let's say, and we were chatting for like 2 weeks, I'm not trying to close every 2-week encounter that I'm, like, no, I don't feel like I owe anyone.
I don't know, man. I just feel like it's important to, even if it's a week or 5 days of you talking to someone, and if you feel like you're not there anymore, you don't want to talk to them anymore, just tell them, dude, I don't like our conversation, I don't like talking to you, or whatever it is that you're feeling, just say, I will not be communicating with you anymore. Then you block, then they know. Because now you can't just block someone and then they be texting you and there's nothing going on. They're trying to call you and you're just like gone.
This goes back to people's personalities, right? The person that I am, I hate confrontation. I'm a very indirect person, even in my communication. So I can't even imagine a scenario where I would come upfront to you and be like, this is not going anywhere, because a part of me is like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt your feelings. Can you just read between the lines? And I'm like, I only confront people that I really care about. And for me, that's a very painful process. And I'm not trying to do it with everyone. That's one of the reasons I don't confront people, and I rather just
disappear. Be out. Ghost. And I'll share from my experience where I've ghosted people, because I have. But I only realized later that I actually ghosted people.
So you're a ghoster and a ghostie.
Yes. Yes. So for me, what would happen is that I'd be chatting to a guy, and then I just get a sense that they're not really pursuing as much as they were pursuing, like say they've been calling and then they just stop calling and texting, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deal with this, especially again, still very early, like under a month. Then I'm like, I work on extremes. I have no middle, terrain. I'm really in or really out. So I delete, block everything, gone, without explanation. But I only realized later that, yo, you are ghosting people. This is what's happening to you and it hurts. Why are you doing it to other people? And I remember this one time where I felt led to really go back to some of the people that I blocked and ghosted, because not all of them deserve, an explanation. But I just remember being like, look, I'm sorry I ghosted you, and I never responded. And I found that they were so understanding, and they really wanted to know, like, what did I do? Like, they were like, but what did I do wrong? And I was so shocked because I thought they knew. Because I knew, you assume like they're going to read between the lines, like Ruby said. But people don't do that. They're actually in shock. Like, what did I say? What did I do? And I was actually, for me, it was humbling that, wow, actually, we are here thinking that people are doing things on purpose. They're not. So when you communicate, then all of that comes out.
Yeah.
Although, no relationship came out of it, it was such a huge lesson for me that, you know what, this ghosting thing, actually, it hurts people, rather just communicate.
Why do you think it hurts so much, actually? Why do we get so hurt by that when it's someone who, I mean, if your family member goes MIA on you, it makes sense why that hurts, that they just go. But someone you just met, it's just 1 month, you don't know them. Why does it hurt so much when someone like that ghosts us? I don't get it, because it hurts when someone ghosts you, but it's like, you were not even like really a part of my life, but it hurts.
Yeah, because it's like rejection. You feel rejected. It feels like you as a person are being rejected, and rejection always hurts. Like, why don't you want me? Why don't you want to talk to me anymore? Why don't you want me in your space any longer? So, and especially if you were really liking the person, thinking we're going somewhere, next thing, ghosted, So it's like you're rejected, and all those hopes just like
crumbling.
I have a different take. I think I always believe that rejection is redirection. But I think you can only get to the point where you see it as redirection if you are whole and complete, and you're not looking for people to validate who you are, and if you don't have voids that you're trying to get other people to feel, but you like, if you're spiritually whole or whatever else you believe in, that fills you up as a person, and you are whole and you're not looking for validation out there, then when someone says no, half the time it has nothing to do with you. It is also like the other person is going through a lot of things as well. They could be coming out of a relationship and trying to heal, and if actually you even I think it goes back to communication as well, because if you have a communication with someone and you ask them, 80% of the time, I bet you, when they say no, it has nothing to do with you. It's about what they're going through, the space.
But now the thing is that they're not saying no. They just go.
But they don't have to, because people are going through a whole lot of things. You just need to get to a point where no has nothing to do with you or rejection or who Manaka is. It's just redirection. This person, it could be God saying this person is not for you. Wait for another person or someone even better than the guy that you thought was the one. So for me, I wouldn't take it personally, especially if you've just met the guy like in a month, 2 months. Like, why are we forming attachments so quickly? And it's an opportunity for you to introspect, like, why am I forming attachments so easily? What am I trying to feel in my life? And that's basically where I'm at. So, and I also wouldn't want to be held responsible for people that I don't, that I reject within 2 weeks or whatever. Like, I mean, it has nothing to do with you. It's just a decision I've taken. Yes, I did not communicate with you, but I don't owe you anything.
It's a tough one. Tough pill to swallow.
It is, but it's some truths. Yeah, it's really some truths. But I feel like just communicate.
Yes.
Just be like, yo, I'm out. Just be like, peace sign.
But it's
something.
It's a nice
emoji.
To have the communication, but I honestly don't have to. I just met you 2 weeks ago. I don't owe you any communication, guys. That's a lot of pressure.
It's just I feel like it's just also just like so rude just to just disappear.
Yes, especially when there was no sign of you showing disinterest.
Exactly.
When you were really actually showing signs of, I'm interested in you. Yes, we're gonna go out. Yes, this is gonna happen. Next thing, gone.
How would I have been showing signs?
That's the biggest. I mean, in my experience of ghosting, the guy is showing interest. They're saying, yes, I'm going to take you out. Yes, I like you. The next thing has disappeared, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk to people that are going through I've been ghosted and I'm feeling like I'm worthless, or was I not enough? What's wrong with me? Why do people constantly, there's one person, I meet someone, they ghost me.
Yeah.
Another person, they ghost me. What can you say to someone just to encourage them? I feel like you actually have the words for that, Louis.
Yes.
Like just to be like, yo, it's not about you. How do you encourage someone like that? Because being ghosted it ain't fun.
Rough.
Sis, seriously, oftentimes we underestimate a lot of things. Maybe go to therapy, find help and see what you're going through as a person, that you need validation from other people, and understand, get to a point where you really are comfortable in your skin and you understand that rejection is really less about you and more about the other person, and it has nothing to do with you. It's an opportunity for you to look elsewhere, look for something better. But I wouldn't beat myself around someone who rejected me. Yes, it's painful. You probably need 3 days or a week but don't dwell on it. Move on very quickly and understand that it has nothing to do with you. You are perfect as who you are, and you don't need to change anything. Because now, imagine if you had to alter yourself for every single person that you meet within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think resilience is key in these dating streets, hey, especially where we are in the 21st century. It's just that thing of bouncing back quickly, not really sinking and staying too long.
Yeah.
In really asking too many questions. Why me? Why this? Why that? But really, like Kubi said, understanding that, it's not about you. Don't take it too personally, and bounce back. But as well, I like to encourage people to also take time to process that, because pain is real. The pain of rejection or feeling rejected is real. Process it.
Oh, this is actually like the conversation took a turn that I wasn't expecting. But it was great to actually hear from female perspectives, because there's one female who was like, ghosting is bad, down with ghosting. And there's one girl who's like, I'm gonna ghost you if I'm not about you. That's Phoebe, by the way. Yeah, it's like, I'm not about you, I'm gonna ghost you, bye. Which makes sense, like when you speak about it's just been 2 weeks, like why are we forming attachments with someone so quickly? I think that made me think as well, like, actually, why are you attached when someone is ghosting you and you've been talking for a month? Why are you attached? But it is also like people tend to lead people on.
Yes.
And if you like telling me, saying, for example, like, we're gonna go on a date next month. We set a date for the date, and then you've ghosted me a week before. Now it's like,
you lied to me.
Are we going on the date? Is it happening? What's up? Where are you?
No.
Should I be asking you, also trying to find you and being like, yo, is it still, like, what am I supposed to do with myself?
No, for sure, there's responsibility with every action, right?
Yeah.
I would never lead a person on. And also, I feel like there's also like a thin line, because there are some conversations, and I remember there was this one guy I literally had met at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and it was like, is it fine if I continue chatting with you? And I said yes. And then he was starting to like chat about his travels and da 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 da. And I mean, I was participating in the conversation and responding, da da da. But sometimes I feel like responding, people tend to then draw a lot of conclusions from it.
That.
Just because I'm entertaining you in the conversation and responding to the conversation. But I mean, I wouldn't go to the extent of saying, yes, let's plan a date and then back out on that date. But I will respond to the conversation that you're saying. If you're telling me about your day, I'll be like, oh, yeah, great. How was your day? If you ask about my day, I'll be like, yeah, great. How was your day? But that's not in any way me leading you. But the one way, and I've talked to so many ladies, where it's like, no, the guy texts me first thing in the morning. It's like, hi, how you doing? Da, 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 da. But I was like, did he make plans to meet with you? No, lady, no. Just because he's responding to your text
and he's
every
you a
single
good morning
day in the morning and he's saying good morning, he did not say, because I feel like these days, I don't know whether it's a lack of people being nice or polite that we misconstrued being polite with intentions, right? Because I feel like if a guy is into you and he's making intentions, they will be clear. You will not be confused. Just because he's texting you in the morning, I I literally sometimes ignore my phone, and then I wake up around 2 a.m. and I have like a litany of texts, and I respond at 2 a.m. Are you now going to say she responded to me at 3 a.m.?
Wow, she's been thinking about me the whole night.
She's thinking about me the whole night. No. I literally had insomnia, and I was like, you know what? I've got a backlog of texts. Let me get through it. You know what I mean? It's admin from my side, but it has like, don't infer. And I always say the biggest things people make in relationships is not asking but making inferences and drawing all sorts of conclusions, and especially within the first 2 weeks, right? Because you also form like a perception or idea of what this person can be in your life, and you ignore the signs that are very evident, like dude, I haven't made intentions to meet you in person. I haven't made any intentions apart from just responding to the conversation that we're having. But because you've already formed this picture of who I can be in your life, you ignore everything and you just draw on what you want the conversation and where you want it to go and what you want this thing to be.
It's like looking at it with a filter of what you want it to be.
Exactly.
You're just seeing it in
and
like,
not what it actually
I want Bay. You're just like, he's nice to me. That's Bay. And now you start seeing babies.
Potential. And especially ladies, we are so guilty of it. And I feel like sometimes we need to date more like guys, because guys are dating to explore and to find and to see what's there. For us, chatting to one guy, you are already seeing bae, you're already seeing marriage, you're already planning your
white picket fence.
Exactly. And the one guy you're talking to for 2 weeks, you've already cut all your other options. You're focusing on this one guy. Meanwhile, that guy could not be into you, and you get so disappointed because you've invested so much into this one guy and you've cut all your other options. And we ladies are so much guilty of that.
So true. That's why the ghosting
in one bag becomes
such a big
for
thing
us.
and a very painful thing, because we've invested so much energy, even emotional commitment and energy
you've seen a husband, you're already planning weddings.
Listen, a whole family, picket fence, everything.
I want to go back to what you said. You said when you find this one guy, then you just like focus on him. You know, you have like your focus glasses on, if I could say that. How do you go about then keeping your options open without, I don't have the word, I almost said without being a hoe, but without, you know, just having a whole like bag of like other guys
playing the guys.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't think it's playing, Manaka. At that stage where, like the initial stage where you're just talking to people and getting to know who they are, I think you can talk to as many people as you want. You're still trying to figure out what person X is about, what person B is about. But it gets to a stage where once you've gotten to know the person, for example, you've actually gone on a date and said
face
this
to
person,
face,
and you know something more, then you can discern, okay, is this the person I want to be serious with? No. Is this the one? Like at that stage, you probably haven't even kissed these guys. You're just getting to know who they are. So I don't think it's being hoish. And then when you get to a point where you have decided who you want to invest in, let's say after a year even, or after 6 months, depending how quickly you move. Depending on how quickly. I mean, we all have our own pace, right? For someone else, it could be 3 months, it could be whatever. Then once you and that guy is also showing interest in you, he's made his intentions clear, then you cut the other guys because they're no longer adding any value in your life. You don't they're no longer part of your future. But this guy has shown that he wants to be part of your future. He's serious about you. You've seen his intention. And I feel like there was a term, you remember the Destiny's Child song Bugaboo? We only call those guys bugaboos because they're into us and they make their intentions known. But because you're not into him, he becomes like a bugaboo. He starts bugging you. But I feel like when a guy's into you that way and you're into him, that's what you want to see, those actions of a bugaboo. That guy who's always there in your space, and you won't see him as a bugaboo because the only difference this time around, you are into that guy. So there's never a confusion about when a guy's into you. And then once that intention is clear, then you cut the other guys that you were talking to, and then that's when you owe those guys an explanation of why I'm exiting this relationship, or why I need to cut this communication right now.
Because it's been a year.
It's been a year, guys.
But
and it's not working.
Can I say, Mara, I don't know if you agree that I find for women it's very difficult to really be chatting to a number of guys at the same time. It's very difficult for us. I think our personality is that you zone into one at a time. But I do know that there are other women who can do that. I think Ruby, you're one of them. But for women, I do find it's difficult to,
because we're looking for the soulmate. You want that one person.
Yeah.
We date with the intention of finding the one. Guys date with the with wanting to get to, I feel like the way, okay, and this is not like all guys obviously, but I feel like guys are so much better at dating. Like they will only focus on you once they've seen and they're like, you know what, I don't like all these other girls. Umanaga has everything that I think I want in a woman. And it comes with time, but they would have been chatting to multiple other ladies at the same time. They don't just hone in. They don't meet Umanaga within 2 weeks and they're like, I'm cutting communication with Umpo and everyone else. I'm focusing on Manaka. Focusing on Manaka comes with time. And that's one thing we as ladies don't give ourselves that time. You meet Temba. Temba has two characteristics that are actually part of what you value and what you like,
and the rest,
I have nothing to do with your business. And you focus so deeply on those two, and you get so disappointed by Utemba when the other 80% of who Temba is comes out. Because you are focusing on that 2%, and meanwhile now you've let Ukolani go, you've let so and so go, you've let, you know what I mean?
And then you're sitting with regret. I do find though that part of the reason why women can be chat to and date a lot of guys at the same time is really just because of how we are made. Our shape is different. We tend to be very focused on detail. And when you're talking to a lot of guys at the same, it's emotionally exhausting. I find it's emotionally exhausting because that's who we are. We're very emotional beings. We like to connect on a deeper level. We like to really zone in. When we chat, we can chat for hours. That's who we are. So when we're doing that with a number of guys, it's exhausting.
And that's how you unintentionally ghost people.
Yeah, so that's how we really, really struggle with it. But I do agree that we need to, as best as we can, try to not be zoning in to one guy, especially in the first 2 weeks. But I think it's just how we're made. We can't do this thing of chatting to a million guys.
Yeah, but you give yourself a time frame, Diana. Like it doesn't have to be like a year. I feel like I was stretching things with a year. But maybe like a month, and then you start cutting the
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
It's
what
your
you
own
can
thing.
handle,
decision.
Yeah, I just feel like, can we just take care of each other's hearts? Don't just go around making people think that you're into them, or when you're not, and then just ghost people. I think.
But some people are naturally flirtatious, Manak.
I mean, but if you're a flirtatious person, be aware of the fact that I'm a person who leads people on without being aware of it. I mean, I feel like if you're that kind of person, that this, sometimes I tend to make people think that I'm into them when I'm not. So let me just make it clear that actually, Hlubi, this is my personality, but I'm actually not into you like that.
Yes, it's just that courtesy, man. You just really protect people's hearts, and it really does make a big difference.
And where does the responsibility end with you as the person who's falling in love? When you realize that you are falling for this guy, but this guy is not responsive, when do you start putting measures to protect yourself?
I think part of it is really like boundaries, taking responsibility that as much as people do things to us, we are responsible for ourselves and how we react, and responsible as well for protecting ourselves. And we ought to have those boundaries in place even before we meet someone, so that even when they reject us, it doesn't become like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why was I rejected? And we're sitting in depression for weeks and weeks on end. Sometimes, obviously, there's nothing you can do, all the preparation and still get hurt. But I think it really goes a long way when you take responsibility and put in those boundaries. When I look at the guys that have ghosted me, I can tell you that these were the guys that I knew that this is not going anywhere. I was just sitting there because maybe I wanted attention. It's nice to chat to a guy, but I really knew that this is not the one.
Exactly.
Probably a guy who just wanted to sleep with me and realized that's not going to happen. All right, I'm out. But as a girl, you just want to hope that, oh no, he's not gonna.
Yeah, and thank you for that
change.
honesty, Diana, because sometimes I feel like we hang on to these guys because we want to show them how we want to be treated in relationships, and that's like a whole therapy thing, because then these guys, you need to give them the same energy that they're giving you, right? If they're not paying you attention, you don't have to stick around to show them, because some of these guys are dense. They're not going to, just because you're showing them, okay, I'm being nice so that in return you can be nice to me. It's not going to translate to that. In fact, the more you're being nice to them, the further you're pushing them away, the more they're running away from you. So, and that's something that you need to heal in yourself. Why am I paying someone who's not giving me time of day? Why am I paying them that attention?
Sheesh. Yeah, why am I watering?
And it's not your responsibility to show guys how to act.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yes. We're not out here trying to pursue men, they're pursuing us.
Yes.
Ooh-wee. Guys, ladies, thank you so much. You guys shared some very insights. I also got like different things, especially from you, Shubi, like because me, I'm for ghosting must fall. I'm that girl at the corner with the board saying no to ghosting, but you showed me a different perspective that I need to look within myself and see like why do I feel like I need someone else to validate me? Why do I feel like I need someone else to stick around even though they don't want to?
Yeah.
And why do they have to like explain themselves to me when they don't want to? But yeah, thank you so much, ladies. I feel like that was very helpful. I know people were helped by that. Yes, thank you, Diana, for coming through again.
Yes.
We can't wait to hear you again another time. You too, Louis. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys doing this with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear listeners.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.